Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the Middle East Vigil service work. Weekly, and continuously. Today, I would like to try something, to try to focus on Iran and the United States, Israel, concerning their perception, outlook, civilizational differences, and how their attitude influence actual trends. I must stress and confess that all I share here comes from mere strong personal need to understand. It comes out of my ignorance of the people of Iran. So I base this sharing on the comments of Ihsan Safarnijad, who is a geopolitical analyst whom I trust because he is not only well informed, but he has a very clear view. And he brings his life testimony from within Iran. So we'll share just a glimpse of what life in Iran looks nowadays, according to him. He says, Iran has been hit strongly and severely, especially in the two major cities, Isfahan and Tehran, that have been heavily targeted. Iran is a huge country. Although Isfahan and Tehran have been heavily targeted, many small cities, big cities, and villages inside the country remain intact. So for many people, they haven't really experienced the destructive part of the war, like in the big cities. People do hear noises of explosions, some don't. But all in all, people are not isolated. On the contrary, their lives continue almost normally. They are resilient, and of course, they suffer the economical consequences of the war. The people have their views on the political system. And there are those who do agree and lots who do not agree with it. But nowadays, they are together in terms of the aggression of the United States and Israel against their country. And this is so different than what we saw in Syria, for instance, when there was the war and the revolution and so on, and they were attacked, people were identified politically and polarized inside the country and ready to cooperate with the aggressor. In Iran, the aggression is a lesson for them. Their collective action of togetherness is a test for the country. So according to Ihsan Safarnijad, the war is being conducted like a game of chess by the Iranians. And it's being conducted like a game of poker by the Americans. He explains this, he explains this by referring to culture. Iran has a big role in having invented modern chess. This frame of thinking has remained over the times. He says, Hassan Safarnijad, he says that the Americans go for high risk, high reward. Iranians go for low risk, low reward. And when you play this game, the low risk, low reward is accumulative. He continues to say that the United States is a big, powerful country and not really concerned with losses. It's more interested in time. In the United States, they need to project their power and often prevent others from rising up, and that this game works for them. But it doesn't work opposite a country that plays at chess and has all the time it needs, and that waits to move in due time according to the circumstances, gradually and surely. He says that it's a psychological warfare that Iran wages against the United States, calculated and careful. So this is what Hassan Safarnijad says in a nutshell. And I must say that it opens my mind, because Iran, I do not understand Iran, and I maybe can begin to understand it. And there's so much to learn, both on this old age civilizational way and its philosophical outlook, and also on our own Western thought forms. And I might maybe add, and it comes from me, that maybe while we're exposed to this world of Iran, we might dare to open to it with some mental flexibility. So thank you, dear friends, for listening and for being in service for this area. Over to you, Efrat.
Thank you, Helen. And thank you, dear friends, for being here. And as we do every week, from the biggest picture that Helen brings, I'm taking you very locally to the events and the atmosphere and the reality here. This evening, on the eve of Memorial Day for the fallen soldier of the IDF and victims of terror, I would like to present a perspective that looked at life along several timelines of memory and the meeting points between them, marked by ceremonies. There is a long line of history, and the festival of Passover, which marks the exodus of the people of Israel from slavery to freedom. There is a line from the Holocaust to the establishment of the state, marked by Holocaust remembrance events like those I presented last week. Another line runs from the declaration and the establishment of the state, presented and marked by this evening ceremony of memorial event, and tomorrow evening celebration of the independence. Another, and there is a relevant and immediate line, in the present moment within the ceasefire and the deep concern about the end of the ultimatum on Wednesday. Will we return once again to a reality of rocket and war? Regarding the commemoration of Remembrance event, it is important to note that for 80 years, Holocaust memory in Israel has been shaped by national and political needs. In the wake of October 7, existential anxiety and the accusation against Israel, this memory has shifted from almost consensus to a battleground of narratives. Alongside the official state's memorial ceremony, in recent years, more and more alternative remembrance ceremonies have taken place. I would like to mention especially here the one that, in my point of view, is the most meaningful and important. The joint Israeli-Palestinian memorial ceremony for those who have lost loved ones from both sides, which are organized by the Braved Family Forum. This ceremony is taking place right now under the title, We Are the Day After. This year marks the 21 years of the ceremony, which began in small, almost doesn't known format. Today, the ceremony is published through major media channels and will be broadcast in many platforms. Maybe it will not broadcast on the main media, but it's very important to notice it. From those of you who would like to watch this ceremony, which I highly recommend, you can watch it on YouTube later under the title, We Are the Day After. Thank you.
Hello, friends. Thank you, Helen and Efrat. Just wanted to add here, Efrat, you mentioned the bereaved parents circle now that has grown big in the mainstream awareness. Many years ago, Heichal would offer meditation classes there. Helen would go to the bereaved parents. It was a small organization back then, and offer meditation for these bereaved parents. Yeah, good things are growing. Awareness is growing. Okay, so we will do our work. And we will again sound the great invocation at the end in Hebrew, Farsi, and Arabic. And let's again concentrate on it, use our intent to use these invocations as a magical act, distributing and anchoring the saving force into these different cultural fields. Okay. So let us take a breath. And settle into our inner silence. Into our inner place of peace. Touching base with our heart between the shoulder blades. This place where will and love unite. Being being conscious, making sure that our heart is purified in harmlessness. Collecting our mental forces in the center of the head. And from here we are adopting now an inclusive planetary perspective, standing as the soul in incarnation, in the will to love. Visualizing now ourselves coming together on a mountain top overlooking the world. Our hearts unite, our minds synchronize. And here we stand soul to soul with all soul-guided servers within the Ajna center of the planet. And we turn now our eyes towards struggling humanity with these many intense energies and forces everywhere. Crystallized forms of an ending age, crumbling, chaos, violence, uncertainty. And we're focusing in on the region of West Asia, where this chaos and violence is now in the extreme. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of the mental aspect of this, the different motives that are clashing here, the belief systems, the ideologies. Let's try to get a kind of a mental picture. West and East, different religions, different interests. And see how this works out on the emotional plane. Highly volatile, inflammatory. And this in place comes down to the physical, with all this suffering and destruction. Just taking a detached look from the mountaintop. We're standing here with all those who truly care, and impartially serve. Detached on the one hand, and on the other, holding our brothers and sisters in West Asia in our heart. And let us now do our transmutive work. From the mountain top, as the world group, draw a line of light upwards towards hierarchy, planetary heart. Opening ourselves to the love that we receive from our higher co-workers. And continuing the line towards Shambhala, the planetary head. And opening our consciousness to the destiny, the intended design for West Asia that is held there in the divine plan, as part of the divine plan. Intended design for this area in the friction zone between East and West. Let us now hold for a moment the possibility in our consciousness that the violent conflict may be transforming into a field of creative tension. Let us imagine, visualize such a process. Violent conflict transforming into a field of creative tension. Let us affirm this possibility, this path, and let us invoke the Lords of Liberation to help us to release all that stands in the way. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may we stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth, the end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See soul light flooding the mental plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the astral plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the etheric physical plane of the Middle East. Penetrating into the earth. Joining with the Devic forces. Cleansing the ancient records of evil sharing. Dissolving and purifying them. Opening the way to the recognition that every human life is sacred and humanity is one. Let us bundle humanity's cry for the coming one and directing it upward. Visualize behind him the avatar of synthesis. Through the heart of the coming one, visualize synthesis energy pouring into West Asia. Synthesis energy pouring into West Asia through each nation, each ethnic group, each religious group. Revealing and preparing the way forward into unity. Visualize the principle of the highest good of all, silently impressing the awakening souls, guiding humanity on the way from solar plexus dynamics into the heart. Let us affirm and radiate this into these different cultures as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew, Farsi, and in Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה בלבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
Can we hear the Farsi?
بگذار مسیح.
Apologies, yes, friends. I will restart.
از نقطه نور در ذهن خداوند بگذار نور در ذهن انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار نور به زمین فرود آید. از نقطه عشق در قلب خداوند بگذار عشق در قلب انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار مسیح به زمین بازگردد. از مرکزی که در آن اراده خداوند شناخته شده است، بگذار هدف اراده های کوچک انسانها را راهنمایی کند. هدفی که استادان می دانند و خدمت می کنند. از مرکزی که ما آن را نژاد انسان می نامیم، بگذار نقشه عشق و نور کارگر افتد و در به سوی دنیای تاریکی را ببندد. بگذار نور و عشق و قدرت نقشه زمین را بازسازی کنند.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي ندعون بالجنس البشري لينتج التسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.